Hi everybody and welcome to Wendy's Witness. My husband and I like to watch a YouTube channel called Vice Grip Garage. And what he does is he goes to get these old cars and trucks and then he drives them home after he gets them running. It's interesting because lots of times he has to improvise and think outside the box to make it happen. But once he gets them to his shop, he can work to restore them to their glory days. After all, these are classics. And you know, as well as I do, they just don't make them like they used to. Well, keep watching today. We're going to be talking about an oldie but a goodie. I've been intrigued by all the names of God for some time now. I believe it's because each name reflects a different aspect of God. I'll show you what I mean. I have this book, Praying Through the Names of God by Tony Evans. And for an example, if you have needs or, you can open it up, call on Jehovah Jireh, meaning the Lord will provide. Stand on His promises that He will meet all your needs according to His riches and glory, thanking Him that He's your source. Knowing Him, I can draw nearer to Him as I learn more about Him. So, last month, me and my husband were over in Summerville, South Carolina at Calvary Chapel. I noticed this display on the wall and I loved it so much. I had to take a picture and I'll insert it right here. There's one name I've not given much thought to, but as I look at this pic, it's listed there and it's Ancient of Days. With ancient meaning having existed for a very long time, I can see God is the epitome of ancient. Since He's existed before time began, always been, is, and will always be. And that's mind-boggling to our brains. So take a moment and just ponder it. Now, listen to this description in Daniel 7:9. As I kept watching, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was white like snow, and the hair of his head like whitest wool. His throne was flaming fire, and its wheels were blazing fire. What an awesome visual we get here. Just like a courtroom. When we hear the announcer, "All rise for the honorable judge, the Ancient of Days." As he takes his seat, the books are opened and court convenes. I think we can all agree we like to surround ourselves with like-minded people who think and believe like we do. Interestingly enough, so does God. Why do I say that? Because He surrounds Himself with elders. Look at Revelation 4:4. Around the throne were 24 thrones, and on the thrones sat 24 elders dressed in white clothes with golden crowns on their heads. And at the end of verse 8, day and night they never stopped saying, "Holy, holy, holy, Lord God the Almighty, who was, who is, and who is to come." Growing up, I was taught to respect my elders. They deserved it because they had lived so long and I hadn't yet. We gain wisdom with age, or as I like to think of it, along with each gray hair and wrinkle comes life's lessons meant to be shared and passed along. We don't know who the 24 elders are who are seated around God's throne because the Bible doesn't say. But we do know they are wise, for they fall down before the Lamb and they pass along the prayers of the saints, playing a vital role in worshiping with the angels and the four living creatures, praising the Ancient of Days for His wisdom, strength, power, riches, glory, and honor. The opposite of ancient is infant. We got relic and we got reborn. We all start out as infants on our physical journey and in our spiritual journey. Now, in some ways, we are to remain as children. How so? We depend on God our Father for understanding, provision, protection, direction, yes, all things. That takes humbling ourselves and submitting to Him. But in other ways, we grow up, weaning off milk and eating meat. The Lord reveals to us more of Himself as we grow in Him, taking pleasure in spending time with Him. All the while, our knowledge and love grows. The Ancient of Days is our good, good Father, full of wisdom. All the glory and honor belong to Him. You know how they say eventually everything comes back in style? They call it vintage. If you slap a label on it of vintage, now old is new and worn out, i.e. holy, is worth more. So if it's an antique, then it's valuable, sought after, searched for, a one of a kind. Not one of these particle board, mass-produced, disposable pieces of furniture. They stand the test of time. If there's something ancient you acquire, you treat it as a treasure. Truly, something special to behold. And in a nutshell, my friend, that is our God, the Ancient of Days. What He means to me. There's no greater honor than to know God. Thank you for watching. God bless you. I'll see you next week. And remember, we are all witnesses.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk.